In this demo, I am going to create a database without defining any attributes. So the new database will inherit attributes from template1 database. Part of this demo, first I will create couple of users. Second, I will create a database. Third, I will create a table. Fourth, I will provide necessary privileges to the users. That is, read-write access to app3 user and read-only access to app3 test. Let me go to my DB server. Let me log into PostgreSQL OS user. Okay. Here I have prepared 5 SQL queries which I will share at the end of my demos. Now let me log into my database. As a first step, I am going to create 2 users. Here I use a couple of syntaxes like create role and create user. Both are one and the same. That is the reason why I showed here. Now I will create database. Database created. Now let me log into my new database. Okay. Now let me create demo table here. Table created. Now let me grant read-write privilege. Grant read-only privilege to test user. Now let me show the details over here. I created the database called app3 demo1 db and the owner of the database is Postgres. The default table space for my database is pg_default. The OID of my database is this 106504. Let me list out the roles now. Okay, I have created 2 users here, this one and this one. Okay, if you see here, I haven't provided any privileges to my users. Okay, now let me show the schema details. Okay, I have only one schema called public. Okay, now let me show of table space details. Here you can find the table space called pg underscore default, and the OID is 1663, and there is no location displayed over here. That means that location is going to be this. Now let me show my table details. You can see my table name here. Okay, owner of the table is this guy, and the schema where my table resides here is public. Okay, and this table resides in my table space called pg underscore default. The difference between schema and the table space: schema is nothing but logical separation, whereas table space is something like physical separation, where your table data files will store physically. You will understand more in my demo too. Now let me show where is my table data files. Okay, let me capture the database OID. Okay, log out. This is the location we need to go, then go under that base. Okay, now go to cd to your database OID. You know the OID of the table, right? Okay, then just give ls-ltr of this. Okay, you can find the details over it. I haven't inserted any records, that is the reason why the table size it is showing 0. Okay, let me log in to my database. Let me insert my table. Okay, one row inserted. You can try to insert one more row. Okay, now let me see. This is the data file related to my table. You can see size over here. Okay, now let me log into the database with my app3 user. Okay, let me see with which user I logged in. And which schema I'm right now. So I logged in as app3 user and the current schema is public. Okay, and I have given read write access to my demo table. Let me see whether I am able to fetch records. Yes, I am able to see. Let me perform one write operation. Sorry, syntax error. Okay, Now let me fetch the records again. Okay, I'm able to perform write operation as well. Okay, let me try to show one more. I'm trying to create a table here. Ideally it should not create, but whereas it has been created. That means even without granting any privileges grants to my app3 user, I am able to perform DDL operation like create table. Ideally it should not be like that. Okay, now let me log in with my test user and perform the same, and we'll see. Okay, let me see with which user I logged in. Okay, which schema. Okay, public schema. Let me see the records. Since I have read-only access, definitely I can able to see. Let me try to perform write operation. So it failed because I don't have sufficient privilege for app3 test user. Okay, now let me do create table operation. Table created. Even though this user doesn't have sufficient privileges, I haven't given explicitly any privilege like create DB or create table. Okay, but he is able to create tables. Ideally it should not be. Okay, in my demo 2 I will grant appropriate privilege to my end users so that they can perform only the operations whatever allocated.